many of you here share in the celebration. And they say you shouldn't work with animals and children. Well, I think what you should say is Uncle Ivan and these children, because you cannot follow and act like that. And it was wonderful to walk in here with Uncle Ivan and to be welcomed so warmly. And Uncle Ivan sort of said he was waking up the spirits. Well, we can feel the ancestors, we can feel those spirits alive and well here and amongst us in this place, this very special place, Dharawal National Park. We know that this is Dharawal land, always was, is now and always will be, and we thank the Dharawal people for their custodianship of this land, and we understand the importance of this place to the Dharawal people. We appreciate you sharing it with us all, and we know that I've been in and seen some of the rock art. It is not just the sensational environment that's in there, it is the cultural heritage that is so rich. And I know that people who come and visit this national park will take on board what that means and care for it in the way in which it's been cared for by the Dharawals. So thank you so much for such a warm welcome. I was saying to Uncle Ivan, I come from the Hunter, but I really, you know, when we hear the song it's sung in the Dharawal language, we all come from different parts, and of course I come originally from New Zealand. Don't hold that against me. I'm well and truly Australian, except when the Bledisloe Cup's being played. To hand this back to people, but there are lots of champions along the way who saw the vision for a national park and said this could be done. It was, of course, promised by Bob Carr 18 years ago, and then later he said, no, I don't think we can do it because of the mining industry and their interests. But that didn't stop people working very hard on this, and I must say the MacArthur branch of the National Parks Association, to the MacArthur Advertiser, Jeff McGill, where are you? He's been an absolute passionate advocate to many of you from the local community and the Aboriginal community as well. This is your day, and of course we call them I have to call them the Dharawal Five now, our local members. Di Rao, Brian Doyle, Lee Evans is here, and of course Mark Kura and Chris Patterson join with them in the success, and we have also our federal member Russell as well joining us. And so that vision is shared, but the Premier, in committing to Dharawal National Park during the election campaign, came out here, he went walking, he got to see what it was all about and understood the wildlife that's here, the eastern pygmy possum, the broad-headed snake, which I don't want to meet, but I'm happy to but also the koalas. This is the largest koala habitat close to Sydney. So that wildlife, the Aboriginal cultural heritage, and the rock pools, it's just beautiful. But as Terry said, it has been a challenge, and indeed there were a few problems, and I must say they looked quite challenging and quite difficult, and I could see why the past government have backed away from it, because it seemed like it was the obvious thing to do to protect this space from mining, to make sure that mining could not occur in this very special place. But how could we do that when there were leases and licences? I must say the mining industry came to the table with us, not always. They weren't excited about the prospect, but they did come to the table with us, and a number of people from the Office of Environment and Heritage, from the National Parks and Wildlife section, worked very hard with us, with the Premier, and trust me, he was very involved in this. Worked hard with us to get some outcomes that we can now celebrate today. And these pins are collectors' items, and I must make sure I take one back and I'm taking one back certainly for the Premier, but also the previous Shadow Environment Minister, Catherine Cusack, who's been part of this campaign, and also to Illawarra Cole, who really worked with us and come to the table on those negotiations. So it is wonderful to be here and celebrate today. Part of that celebration is saying that also I committed $1 million. Now, there's a bit of a story about that $1 million, because I committed $1 million and then someone said to me, by the way, we weren't committing $1 million, and so someone had to go off and find that $1 million that I promised when I did. So I think they hid their faces very well, but they must have all gone, oh my God, where's that $1 million coming from? No, we haven't. $1 million that is going to be spent on this park to make sure that it is your park, that we've got things like a disabled access to a lookout, so that we've got access to the rock pools. Whatever it is that you think we should have, that identifies the Aboriginal cultural heritage, that identifies the paths and walkways. And come and tell us what you want in your park. It is for everyone. There should be some spaces that are only for people on foot, but maybe there's some other sections that we can in the National Parks Association will be looking at me now and saying perhaps there is a section where we can have mountain biking. A small section. A rush of blood to the head every time I come out here. Suddenly $1 million. No. I better have a look at my speech and tell you what else we need to say. I think there isn't much more to say except thank you for coming. Thank you to each and every one of you that's been part of this journey along the way. I know there are too many of you to mention, but local environment groups, the Aboriginal people, our local members, the community, the Bushwalkers, the Parks Association, just all of you. But can I say one big thank you to my staff? They have endured a change of government. The world hasn't ended. It's in fact improved. We've got a national park we weren't going to have. And they work very hard for us, and to see them doing discovery walks, their displays down here, enthusiastic smiling faces wherever they go, they love their jobs, and I just love meeting them out there because they're so enthusiastic about what they're doing. It's terrific. We will care for this park. Under our government, there's no parks that are locked up, left to pets and weeds. We will look after it. We'll look after the falls, we'll look after the pools, and we'll make sure everyone can enjoy it. So, great celebration today. Thank you very much for having me here on your